It's called a promo,
Shut
kid.
your
And
mouth,
if you want to
John.
be the big dog, you're going to have to learn how to do it. So go ahead.
You ready? No! I said, are you ready?
That was good. I'm glad you finally decided to pull that giant stick out of your butt and have some fun for once in your life.
You're uneducated marks! You sit there on your phones tweeting out your opinions like they're worth a damn. Let me explain something to you people. You don't know shit!
And I'd like to think that maybe this company...
Okay, duel. What do you got? What'd you say? What'd you say to me?
Let's go. It was just like limbo because I was like, wait, he's got to say something.
When both guys tried to open the show. How about this?
Super cold open.
I'm going to go ahead and open the show with some tweets. We're doing a dual event episode today. I'm going to open the show with some tweets, and they're all anti-Conan tweets. These are all people's tweets on the internet, opinion about Conan in this commentary.
You know what? I agree. I haven't even seen the tweets yet. Keep them off commentary. You could have had anyone else. Vic Joseph was literally in the area.
What's up with that?
Literally. I can even, you know what? I'll even share the screen. You can see the tweets in real time.
You see what you were trying to watch.
We were watching Jamie Hayter and Session Martina. Yeah.
Trying at least.
Zashy 120. Bro, this is what Conan sounds like in my head. Conan might actually be worse than Pat McAfee. That's a good one.
Damn. Okay.
So how many people are watching on Spanish because Conan sucks ass on commentary?
That's fair.
Nah, bro, I had to switch it to Spanish. Conan is terrible.
Damn.
Okay. Conan on commentary. Okay.
He's like anti-hype. It's so crazy.
Not Conan on commentary. Corey and Conan sound so disinterested in the show, and it's pissing me off. Damn, Lil Buzzak pissed about it. He's got an actual attitude.
Damn. Okay. I mean, Corey was also like, I feel like not a great fit. I don't know who is a great fit for you, now that I think about it, but not those two.
You gotta add mine at the end. Oh, wow. That was crazy. This event is great. That's my impression of Conan's exhilarating commentary. Okay. Yes, I'll stop. That's a fun way to open the show. That's how we all felt about Conan's commentary on this Worlds Collide event.
Yeah, we could call this episode when banks collide. Okay, I botched that.
The actual name, I already got it. You know, I think about this for like the entirety of the day. Throughout all the events I'm sitting there, what do I call this episode? This is Worlds Collide into Money in the Bank. So, have fun with that.
That's fair.
And as you can see, I busted out the Money in the Bank chain, which this is only like the third time I've worn this, I think.
Drink it in, man.
I will say this, on Worlds Collide, the intro to the event was pretty damn cool.
It was, yeah.
To be fair, it was pretty damn cool. I don't love Conan being here, but it only made sense.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Mysterio comes out after the national anthem, talks about what lucha means to him, the history of the event, the whole deal. Then we get to our opening contest. Mr. Iguana, Octagon Jr., and Aerostar versus the LWO's Dragon Lee, Cruz del Toro, and Lince Dorado. I should have busted out the Lince Dorado card.
Oh, yeah, you have that.
We got like a bunch of shit he just gave us. It was like, just a bunch of signed shit. He was like, here you go.
So this is conspiracy theory time. I don't think this is actually what happened, but I was just thinking, like, wait a minute, Joaquin Wild is non-technically Hispanic. What if someone in AAA paid whoever he faced in Speed, I don't remember who it is, to knock him out?
No.
So that they can put Lindsay in. It's like, yeah, I'm like, what am I thinking here? Have I gone down too deep into
I'm
Because
gonna go ahead and hit no on that one.
yeah, I hope so, man. It's
We
getting
see
bad.
Dirty Dom seated ringside with some blonde girl before the match.
No idea who she was, but damn.
No idea, but Dirty Dom was there seated ringside. They ring the bell and wrestle. An entertaining one for sure. A pretty good one.
Dude, my new favorite wrestler
Say,
is Mr. Iguana.
I think a lot of people feel that way.
I love Mr. Iguana. And shout out to Cruz del Toro.
Mm-hmm.
I knew
Yeah,
back with Raul Mendoza that he was special, but dude showed out today.
dude,
Good.
he looked fantastic. He looked fantastic.
Yes.
And on that note, back to old Mr. Iguana here. He already has his merch on WWE Shop.
Yeah. They straight up saw his pop and was like, "Oh yeah, put that up."
You know WWE. They see money signs and they say, "We're on it." All right. Octagon Jr. wins the match for Team AAA. I wish that was the narrative throughout this night. Like it was a them versus us thing, and we could have kept count. Team WWE, Team AAA.
Yeah, because like Conan, he tried to push that, but that's Conan, and no one listens to him.
This was the first time we were all forced to. No one wanted to, and we were all forced to. That's what made it suck. After the match, though, Dirty Dom interrupts and insults his dad a bunch alongside everyone else, and him and Octagon Jr. start fighting, which Dirty Dom escalates this to challenging Octagon Jr. to a match at Money in the Bank with the IC title on the line. So I guess we'll get a little bit more into that later in the episode then.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was wondering if was it planned to from the beginning, they just couldn't build it on WWE TV, or if they heard all the complaints and were like, let's throw something last minute.
I was wondering the exact same thing. I was like, is this just like them making up for that because they heard it, or was that just, again, I guess later on we'll get more into this. Our women's tag match, Stephanie Vakir and Lola Vice versus
Elise and Chick Tormenta.
both women's world champions seated ringside for this one, Io Sky and Tiffany Stratton, which I was kind of thinking that would turn into something. Spoiler, it didn't actually turn into much other than they were there.
It was nice to have them there. It really made the event feel like a big deal.
Now, what would have made it really great is if Io Sky came in on her blimp.
Oh my god.
Who could forget the blimp? I like this match from the get-go, though. It was fundamentally and technically solid, and that always gets bonus points for me. How did you feel about it?
It was pretty decent to me. I know I was mostly focused on what these two from AAA were going to bring to the table because I was not familiar with them, and whether Lola would not be overshadowed by Stephanie Vakir, who has taken, the world by storm now.
Absolutely.
I think Lola held her own.
Yeah, it's not surprisingly Vakir and Vice pick up the win there.
Yeah.
So put one up for Team WWE. I just decided we're going to make a counter for Worlds Collide. Team AAA's got one. Team WWE's got one.
Give me a hell yeah!
The next match, Lego Bro del Fantastico. I'm sorry, I tried.
Del Fantastico.
Lego Bro del Fantastico versus Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr., Pagano, and Psycho Clown.
Right.
Welcome to Lucha Libre, guys.
Drink it in, man.
So from what I gathered, Psycho Clown and Pagano are a little more tenured, right? They're fairly popular in Mexico, and that's pretty. I saw a couple of interviews with Pagano. They were asking him, like, what is your favorite thing to do? And he was like, falling on tables, chairs, spikes, nails.
Oh, you don't say. Okay.
And they did say in the match that him and Psycho Clown wrestle Luchadora Extremita. Extremita? Or Extrema. So, like, extreme wrestling.
Yeah. I hate clowns, so I
Yeah.
didn't love watching this match, but it was also a good match. Despite the fact that there were
Yeah.
clowns in it, I didn't love that. It was a great match in its own right.
You can definitely tell like Pagano and Psycho Clown are a little less high flyer because they've probably been in a lot of extreme matches. You know, that takes a toll on the body. But
Absolutely, it does.
it didn't mean that they were bad at all. Just, not Wagner Jr. obviously impressed a little bit more on that front because I've seen Wagner Jr. before in Japan.
Huh.
He, yeah, he's pretty good. I think a lot of people were saying when they bought AAA that him and Vikingo were like the two that people were looking forward to seeing.
Acknowledge me.
Well, on this one, Laguno del Fanatico pick up the win here. Get one for Team WWE. And you actually called that. I don't have the text screenshot or anything, but you actually called that.
Yeah. Oh wait, no. There we go. This is WWE. Sorry, getting my fingers right. Yeah, I don't know I think it was gonna go back and forth because I was pretty sure, and we'll figure out here in a bit. But going in, I was like, Vikingo has to win the main event. That was my thinking. So I was like, if we're trying to keep it even, I forgot we still had another match.
Yeah.
I was like 4-4, okay, or 2-2 makes 4, okay.
Yeah.
But still, it does seem like I think they have a little bit more story. Obviously, they were mentioning how Wagner Jr. was around when Santos lost his mask.
Yeah.
Love that they showed that history, so we'll probably get a little bit more with them.
And I feel like if you're not going to give Legato wins anywhere else, you might as well consolation give him the win at the co-branded event. Like, that was just the spot. You got to give him something.
I suppose so.
Laguno del Fanatico.
Good. You and your names.
The Fatal 4-Way for the NXT North American Championship. Siobhan Evans, Laredo Kid, which excited me, Ray Phoenix, and Ethan Page. Who did you like the most going in?
Going in, so personally, I was hoping. I mean, I was fine with anyone. Honestly, I see the positives of each one.
Especially
But
Laredo Kid. That'd be a shocker.
true, I was predicting either Ethan Page because he's facing Sean, or the winner would say face Sean Legacy on NXT, and I pretty much had that pegged that like if Ethan Page retained here, he's losing the title to Sean Legacy there. Because Legacy is it, man. Legacy is crazy good. He's from Evolve, but he's already ready to be on NXT. Like,
Okay.
or my other choice or prediction was Javon Evans because I mean he's already been on the main roster. He's faced Randy Orton. They obviously have big plans for him, and he's been doing solid work in the ring. So, I mean, give him the North American title.
I was thinking Ethan Page was going to retain it myself. The match had a lot of potential to be the best on the card, too, I think. We can't say yet if it is, but we can say it was really solid, no matter how sucky on commentary Conan is. Even he couldn't ruin this one. And it certainly felt like he tried to, but we weren't going to let him.
There was one thing, though, that the crowd was seemingly getting tired at this point. For a good chunk of the match, at least to me, like there was a good chunk where they were doing like spot after spot, and like the crowd was like barely making noise. At least
Yeah.
in my
Because there was a lot of great action, great spots. I can't remember any on the top of my head now because we just went through Money in the Bank too. But I do know match went off. Ethan Page scrapes by and retains in a bomb fatal 4-way.
Yeah. Like I said, I did see someone say that maybe they would run that first match and then like Legacy doesn't win, but then he gets a rematch, and at I guess the next pay-per-view for NXT, he wins it and gets an NXT contract out of it. Something like that. I don't know how Evolve works, I'm gonna be honest.
You know, brother, me neither. But that's a whole other can of worms. The next can of worms we're going to open here is we get the announcement of AAA Mania continuing this August, and I just added it to our episode schedule for that month, so that's solid.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest. Going in, the way a lot of people talked about AAA, I thought this event was gonna be way worse than it actually turned out to be. So I'm kind of excited to see what comes out of the partnership or the acquisition going
Yeah,
forward.
I've always been a big fan of the event and seen a lot of great matches at the event as well. And I'm interested to see with WWE's backing how it'll look now.
Drink it in, man.
We got our main event next: Chad Gable versus El Hijo del Vikingo for the AAA Mega Campeon title.
Triple A, something like that.
Tripla.
Triple
The
A.
hoopla.
Hoopla.
This is yeah, this is the big, heavy gold title. And I'm gonna put the picture up on the show. Brandon actually is taking a picture with this title. Our boy Brandon has a picture holding this title, so
Okay, lucky guy, man, lucky guy.
pretty damn cool to think about now.
Yeah.
I sent out a tweet before any of this. I said, "What if Chad Gable, or what if a Grande Americano comes and interferes and helps Chad Gable?"
I'm glad you didn't bring up any of my joked messages because I was on something,
Not
man.
yet. I was like, not yet.
Oh my god, no.
There's always some. Now, it doesn't take much for me to get excited for a Vikingo match. This was probably the most big fight feeling I've ever felt for a Chad Gable match also, so that justifiably that part was pretty cool.
Thank you.
You know, it's funny. I didn't think about it that way. I guess I don't know. The whole thing with Grande Americano gimmick, it's kind of soured a little bit, like how I view Chad Gable, not as a person, but as the character, I guess, and everything surrounding that. So it's like, am I happy?
I mean, it's Chad Gable. We know he can go. And when I really
Yeah.
thought about it, I was like, okay, we know he's had good matches. Him and Gunther, big fight feel for sure. But I hadn't really felt a big fight feel for him like that since American Alpha was fighting the Revival for the tag team titles in NXT.
Hey, we're going
Now that's a
throwback.
throwback.
Yeah,
Now that's a throwback.
you know, shout out Chad Gable with hair.
Yes, with hair like this.
Yeah.
Now, they say that this match started out slower than expected for it being Vikingo, but I'll say not me. I definitely foresaw it starting out that way.
Yeah, you get to think, Chad, obviously technically sound. He's going to keep it grounded.
Wrestle.
Wrestling.
Doesn't stay that way, of course. Business gets picked up and we get the blend, the good old blend between fast and slow, that good old lucha technical blend.
Yeah.
Vikingo looked great, and I want to hear you acknowledge that here and now.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. There were a couple times I had seen Vikingo since, he had all those injuries, and I was like, I don't know. Like, he did look great. I don't know, maybe. I don't know if maybe it's a bias. Like maybe I just think he looks faster in AEW. I don't know. Because all the matches I saw where I thought he was really solid was AEW.
Right.
Obviously, I don't go out and watch a lot of lucha promotions, even though I should. But
the big factor there, as we talk about often, is the injury. You can't blame a guy for getting injured.
no, for sure not. I'm not saying like, oh,
what if?
You should feel ashamed for not being able to go as good as he used to. I try to point out things that I observe. So
what if like, man, you suck for getting hurt. I can't believe you would do that and ruin your career. I want to watch you at your best and you can't be that now.
There are some people who do that. I mean,
man, I hate Stone Cold for breaking his neck. What? Okay. Now, I didn't expect to see a table spot in this match, and especially not Chad Gable putting Vikingo through the table. I fully expected the 6:30 table spot, so that part got me even more.
Drink it in, man.
For sure, but I mean, they really wanted those tables, and hey, the tables, we gotta show the tables more because branding.
Table branding. Vikingo hits the 630 despite scaring us with another potential knee injury, and he retains the Mega Campeon Championship.
Give me a hell yeah.
Hey, congratulations! That part where the part of the match where he did that move by the turnbuckle and he like hung up for like a couple of seconds, scared
Yeah.
the crap out of me.
Man, great match. I would say maybe my favorite Chad Gable match that I can remember, just for it being with Vikingo and it delivering that much better than I expected.
Thank you.
I hate to say it. I feel like it's kind of rude, but I set the bar so much lower for WWE events than I should, and so it definitely had me like, okay, it's not going to be that great of a match. It delivered pretty good.
I think that like I said, I had heard from a lot of people, maybe not the WWE part was the reason why, but like I said, I heard from a lot of people that AAA is terrible programming these days, and they have like two good wrestlers and all this kind of thing. But I was pretty impressed.
Thank you.
It used to be, I can at least say from my perspective, it used to be so good, and then at a certain point, it just kind of fell off, and that's when all the kind of drama started to happen too, I guess. And so maybe that is kind of a sign in the wrestling business we see often when things backstage aren't going so good, things on the television screen don't look so good anymore either.
Yeah.
The history lesson often repeated.
If anything, there's a lot of positives I could take, which is if this is how events like this are going to go with with this promotion and WWE going forward, I'm all for it. Mm-hmm. And I need a Mr. Iguana shirt. I love Mr. Iguana, man. He's so funny.
Okay, before we switch over to the next pay-per-view, I'm going to show a text exchange. We got our first text exchange of the night.
I'm scared.
Imagine, also, this crowd is tired and it sucks. I'm so sorry that your spelling correction isn't going well there. Maybe they can hear Conan's commentary, I said. That's what's putting them to sleep. They sound loud right now to me, though. They picked up a bit. Yeah, I said either Paige retains and loses to Shawn Legacy on NXT or Javon wins today. Chad wins. Americano wins Money in the Bank, cashes in on Chad, reveals himself to be Tyler Bate. To which I said, sure. Alternatively, yes. Mr. Iguana should hold all belts.
Yes.
I'll answer in Spanish. No.
Come on, man.
Yeah, folks. We're getting into the actual Money in the Bank pay-per-view now. And the tweet that starts that one is, so the Cash App logo is on the actual Money in the Bank briefcase now.
Yep.
What? That's so weird to me.
It is weird. Like, I'm tired. I'm already tired of all this branding. I'm already tired of it. I remember this joke picture of like Triple H with the sledgehammer, and the handle has Slim Jim on it, and the actual hammer part has like I can't remember. It has another brand on it. It's like, no.
But this bitch is getting on my nerve.
All I know is that 7-Eleven logo at the bottom turnbuckle stuck out like a sore thumb.
It did. So it's funny you say that because my brother was talking about it, and I was like, 7-Eleven where? And then I looked at one of the turnbuckle paths. I'm like, oh.
It's right there, plain as day.
Oh, I guess I just hadn't looked at the turnbuckles.
Now we're about to get into the women's Money in the Bank, but there's another text I sent that I noticed something that I had to send this, and I'm going to show it. Hold on. We have a possibility that by the end of the night, Naomi and Penta, the winners of our Universe Mode Money in the Bank, could be the actual winners of the Money in the Bank in real life. They were strong possibilities here.
They were. I mean, granted, going in, I didn't think either of them were actually going to win, but...
We get all our competitors out for the women's Money in the Bank, and it's hard to say who you think is going to win. But here's my first prediction versus Make-A-Wish. That's what I call this. We're going to have prediction versus Make-A-Wish. What you wish would happen. My prediction, Rhea Ripley, based off of the fact WWE only thinks about money, and Mommy in the Bank is a money shirt.
Yes.
The moment I heard that on the pre-show, they said, "Oh yeah, that's a money shirt right there." I said, "Yeah, WWE likes money, so that's my prediction."
I mean, I had the same prediction just because Crown Jewel is in Australia.
Hmm.
Mom needs a way to get back to the title.
Yeah, which she doesn't need that briefcase too, but it does just kind of make sense, and it's hard to bet against Rhea Ripley in a lot of situations, especially big matches. So it was a solid prediction. And again, I can't say this enough. Money, the money that comes is it's literally money in the bank.
It's
My
more
make a
money.
wish though was Julia, of course. My make a wish was Julia winning it. A little shocker.
Give me a hell yeah.
Now, like any ladder match, we get some cool spots and matchups. But what I found about this match most peculiar is throughout it we had more wrestling spots than crazy ladder spots. And it's not that we didn't have crazy ladder spots, but it wasn't the bulk of the match like most of the big Money in the Banks are. It was just an observation. I think it goes to show how we're really spotlighting the women's talent over crazy ladder match stuff.
Funny because that's not how I viewed it. I remember going in and I told my family, I was like, "Who's gonna take the bumps in this match? Who's
Chelsea's
gonna,
not here this year.
yeah, who's gonna take those crazy bumps?" I was like, I guess like Roxanne's the easiest to throw around, so I guess Roxanne. But like Alexa's getting up in age. Rhea, you don't want to hurt Rhea. Rhea's your money. I guess maybe Julia. Same thing with Stephanie. Stephanie's just under Rhea and how popular she's gotten, and arguably quicker.
Yeah.
So I wasn't quite sure. Like Naomi again, like this is probably her last year from the way she's been talking. Like
Yeah.
I had no idea who's going to take all the crazy bumps.
And like I said, too, we do get crazy ladder spot stuff, too, here and there. But it did feel like, in my observation, we were kind of spotlighting that these women are really great wrestlers, too.
Yeah, I like that line of thinking better.
We think we're going to see a riptide through the ladder to Stephanie Vakir, but instead it gets turned into a devil's kiss by Stephanie on Rhea Ripley on the ladder. Really just wanted to highlight that spot.
Because they are the Devil's Kiss is a money move. Like
Yeah.
you can see how popular it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also see Roxanne and Alexa Bliss both do Canadian destroyers onto ladders at almost the same time, but not quite. And that weird ladder setup that you can't really describe. It's like a ladder in the middle and then like one ladder and another ladder on the turnbuckles.
Actually,
Oh.
they were code reds.
Oh, okay.
Technically, Roxanne's was a pop rock. I'm just being annoying.
I mean, you were there. You know. Roxanne and Julia fight atop the ladder. Alexa pulls Roxanne down. Rhea pulls Julia down. And Rhea and Alexa hit Riptide and Sister Abigail's at the same time and then stare each other down before fighting over the ladder. Give me. They get up on the ladder, but by then Naomi gets in and knocks them down off the ladder. She climbs up and she grabs it. And my friend, our universe mode has predicted 1 out of 2.
That's so crazy, man. And I was so doubtful. I was like, you are you gonna show the message?
Yeah, I got the message pulled up right here. It says, "Wow, well deserved," but I didn't think they would pull the trigger. They did it.
I had seen earlier Rhea. I had Rhea 99%.
Yeah. What I said, what's crazy is if our universe mode predicted true, it wasn't even us, and that's what's awesome about it, because we tried to push Kairi Sane and AJ Styles, but the computer beat us out and gave us Naomi and Penta. It's just wild to think about.
It is such a crazy coincidence, man. But again, well deserved. She reinvented herself. Has been doing great work, just amazing work, both in ring and character wise. Like,
absolutely.
Thank you.
That was a definite, like a pleasant surprise. No one's complaining about this one.
No.
Another thing we're not complaining about, a random IC title match, or as I call it, the response to the 4 match card complaints.
But this bitch is getting on my nerve.
I mean, is that what it was? Like we were saying earlier, is it that because we said, oh man, only 4 matches, or was this just always the plan?
I mean, like I said, I don't see them taking the time on WWE TV to build this match with a AAA wrestler until you actually have that Worlds Collide to introduce those wrestlers, right? But at the same time, if they can do something small like that, because I imagine it wasn't too hard to be like, okay, we have a little bit of time we can kill, I guess. Throw Dominic in there with whoever. I don't know, though. We might never know.
Yeah, we covered it during the Worlds Collide portion of the episode. You know how we got here. Dirty Dom defends the belt against Pentagon. Octagon Jr. my prediction: Dirty Dom. My Make-A-Wish: Dirty Dom. So it's all linear.
That's fair.
Match from the jump looks solid. Like we're just running back the Worlds Collide action. And would it be safe to say that this match was more to give fans who didn't watch Worlds Collide a little taste of what it looked like?
I don't know if that was the point, but it definitely did. It was a nice, as I said, a nice little sprint.
Yeah, you can't escape the Lucha Libre even if you wanted to. You're not going to get away from it. Surprisingly, this match, as good as it was, like you said, doesn't go very long. Dirty Dom hits the 619 and Frog Splash combo and gets the win pretty quickly, but still a good contest.
Also, it might have been a way to introduce Octagon Jr. Obviously, Octagon Jr. has a little bit of that lineage that they can pull from. Maybe that was one of the people they really wanted to highlight, and they had ideas to highlight. And because I imagine, like, how big a response someone like Mr. Iguana got.
Well, I was like, better than the Clown, in my opinion. Better than the Clown.
They didn't have anything for him, probably, but if they would have known, they would have made something for him.
And, like, obviously we know Vikingo's the big push. Like, that's who they really wanted to push.
Yeah.
But we'll digress, because why gress when progress is a thing? Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch for the women's IC title. And prediction, sadly, Becky. I saw Becky winning this one going in. My Make-A-Wish, of course, Lyra, always, forever, and ever.
Yeah, I was the same. I was like, yeah, the story dictates.
I'm glad we're on the same page here. Becky comes out in a big furry red hooded coat thing.
It was so weird, man.
Lyra comes out with the Intercontinental Championship, and that's my favorite part. And I am excited for this one, and I'm not the only one. Lyra as well can't wait as she jumps Becky before Alicia Taylor can even finish the introduction.
Yes, they were going off from the get-go.
This is a good old-fashioned Irish pub brawl. This is a Belfast brawl.
It's not a Donnybrook match, right?
No, it's just a good old Belfast brawl for breakfast. They get into a good old-fashioned back-and-forth wrestling match, and it doesn't disappoint, I'd say.
No, definitely not.
Can we please mention the RVD Sabu style leg drop on the barricade by Lyra Valkyria?
It's funny because I need to go back and watch some more NXT UK, but I want to say there was a similar spot that took her out in NXT UK. And I want to say it was against Jenny. I want to say they had a hardcore match of some sort, like a street fight or something. I just remembered, like, I gotta go look it up. It's a highly recommended match, though. Lyra, or I guess Aoife Valkyrie versus Jenny, as she was called then.
Yeah. Anything she does, go look it up. Lyra, because she's a champion, survives the Superman handle slam, and that drives Becky crazy.
Yes. I love the part where at first Becky just kind of looks at her like you just kicked out? What?
Yeah. And then Lyra hits a Nightwing outside the ring.
Yep.
Bars.
You son of a bitch.
I mean, both these women, they leave it all out there. And they really deliver a good match here where I think a lot of people expected a predictable, redundant kind of match. I think they kind of pulled one out the bag. Even myself, I was like, we've seen this match several times now. We know how it goes. Becky's probably going to win, but it's just going to look the same going in. Nah, they put it out there.
Yeah, I mean, Lyra's always been really good at striking, heavy hitting, but also she has that technical side to her. And she has a little bit of power as well, so she's able to pull out different things. She even has some high flying moves too. Like she's an all rounder about it. It's pretty crazy.
She's just the greatest thing since sliced bread came around, in my opinion. And you didn't get to see the pre-show, correct? Because you were doing some other stuff, family time.
Mostly.
She had a cool interview on there with Kathy Kelly. It wasn't anything major. It was just a cool little interview.
Dang.
For once, I can't believe I'm going to say this. For once, I actually enjoyed the pre-show. It wasn't over the top. It wasn't too much. It was a good pre-show.
30 minutes, right? Instead of full 2 hours.
Yeah, definitely not full 2 hours, but it was an hour because Worlds Collide ended just after 4:30, and it went right into the pre-show.
Ding dong. Hello.
Oh, yeah. And the end of it all, Becky Lynch allegedly gets the tights and rolls up Lyra for the win. Becky, I have to admit, looks great with that belt.
She does. I guess in a way, she will bring some level of believability to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I still don't think this is over.
Yeah. End of the match as a woman of her word. Lyra raises Becky's hand in victory, but Becky won't let her leave until she raises her hand like a bunch more times and puts the belt around her waist. Lyra does it, and then she recreates the current logo of our show with a badass German suplex and follows it up with a Nightwing.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I feel like there's a little bit more to this.
Yeah.
Even with Lyra getting the belt back.
I could only hope so.
But part of me thought, is Bayley coming back? Because I thought like Becky was gonna get to the point where she was gonna like just degradingly humiliate Lyra to the point to where it turns into a brawl. Becky gets the upper hand, and then like Bayley has to come make the save.
First of all, I think it's adorable that you think they're going to give Bayley anything at this point. I wish, but come on.
Ding dong. Hello.
It's Stephanie Bakir's time. It's Julia's time. It's Roxanne's time. Like, they really did say, I'm sorry, Bayley, but you're just old news to us. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. They said that. The men's Money in the Bank. The good old manly Money in the Bank.
A man in the bank.
No. If Penta wins it and our universe mode got it right, I'm gonna lose it. Let's get into it. But I'm letting you know now, if that's the case scenario of this, I'm throwing stuff around the studio. I'm ripping the flags. My prediction: LA Knight, Make-A-Wish, Seth Rollins or Penta. Seth Rollins mainly because of what it could set up, but also Penta because I love him, and it would be kind of crazy, though, if we got it right. If our universe got it right. Because, again, we didn't make that decision.
Yeah.
The universe made that decision.
I really wanted LA Knight to win.
I think a lot of people did and expected it.
I didn't expect it, but I wanted it. I expected Seth Rollins. I was like 100%. Seth Rollins is getting this. And I wasn't for it because I pretty much thought Seth Rollins gets it. He's going to take the title from whoever wins between Jay and Gunther. Keep that title for a little while. And then he's going to be the company guy that he is and eat a fall to a guy I'm not even going to mention.
Now, that's interesting because, again, I feel like that's what I wanted. I definitely wouldn't see it coming. The match starts, and most of the guys immediately jump Seth Rollins. Then Solo is next to get teamed up on. And then Wade Barrett said this. I'm going to play the video. I don't think you'll be able to hear the video, but it's the video of him talking about nipple sizes.
I do my job as a researcher. That's the tell. Big difference in nipple size.
I mean, okay, he's got a point. That's how you know. That's how you can tell the difference. Nipple analyst.
Big difference in nipple size.
Those ladder match things. People run into ladders, climb ladders, fall on ladders. It's pretty standard multi-man Money in the Bank stuff, all in the early half of it.
Can I just say that one thing that struck out to me was Solo.
Yes.
Hitting other people's taunts and like being like it feel like he's really coming into like his own character, and it's pretty fun.
I don't like seeing Solo so playful. Hot take. I don't like it. I want him to be mean and like mean muggish.
I feel like we have enough people like that. I mean, we got Bronson, I guess JC, kind of. Others that I can't think of at the moment right now, but
it reminds me of Vladimir Kozlov, whereas like this is a major serious contender for a world title, and now we're just drinking tea with Santino Morelli. Give it a year, and Solo Sikoa is going to be out here just sipping tea with Ariana Grace.
Yeah, I guess so.
Ariana Grace is going to come back around and run this place. Run this place with grace. Let's get a hashtag going. Run the place with grace.
You came up with the money idea right there.
That's all I do. That's all I ever know how to do. We get to a spot where El Grande Americano gets Seth Rollins in the ankle lock atop the ladder. And then Andrade and Penta both climb up one side, the Seth side, and they get both guys off with force. Then they get back up the ladder themselves and fight. This leads to some cool stuff. And inevitably, a Mexican destroyer down onto a ladder. Or do we want to call that a code red too?
No, that one was an actual destroyer. It's about
break it down.
About the way the person's body lands. And I can't exactly explain it right now, but a destroyer has a bit more oomph to it. Whereas the red, it has a bit more spin, a bit more rotation, a bit more grace to it. It's like I said, it's kind of hard to explain.
Fickle. They're fickle.
Americano finally gets the fireball ladder out, and it's pretty big. He doesn't stay on it long as Penta gets up and knocks Americano down. Then Seth jumps and climbs up to fight Penta on top of the ladder. Penta wins that fight because he has zero fear. Then Americano puts the plate in his head, that metal plate or whatever Wade Barrett said it is, like stops at some ointment bed. He goes through an assisted obstacle course to get up the ladder and headbutt Penta. And what I mean by assisted is I'm not picking on anybody or trying to like critique anything too much. I'm not trying to nitpick, but you could very obviously tell the way LA Knight and Seth Rollins helped him get to that point.
Yeah, I noticed, especially like LA Knight, like looking like a weird, like he was gonna roll him up into a Boston Crab, but didn't get him, and then just helped him up the ladder. It was
with Seth holding the other ladder, like let's get you over here. Like I said, I'm not nitpicking. It's not that big of a deal. It was a great match.
Safety over perfection, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Make sure you can hit the spot safe rather than trying to make it look perfect.
Exactly. Says every Sting match of the last decade. Americano almost wins it, but LA Knight gets up there and suplexes him back off.
Yeah.
And I thought this was it, man.
You thought. Then everybody goes through a series of getting up there and taking each other off, and it's intense. Nobody knows who's going to grab it. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed get summoned out, and Americano gets speared hard.
I did see that coming, though. I was like, where are these guys? Oh, there they are.
Also, there they are.
Coming down at first very slowly. They were just like cruising their way in.
They're plotting. They're actually getting the gears revved up inside. Him and Bronson proceed to give that same energy to every other competitor in the match and give Seth Rollins the advantage. But who comes to the aid next? Oh, bless you. Who comes to the aid next? Solo's councilman, Jacob Fatu, and Jeff Cobb, and that's what I'm calling him. I'm sorry, it's not changing.
Okay, that's fair. We're gonna do the same thing like we did with Pete Dunne. Gotcha.
I think we even did it with Edge for like the first month, so maybe it will change. Who knows? Braun Breaker spears Jeff Cobb through a barricade. Jacob Fatu, though, gets the better of Bronson Reed, and he assists Solo with getting a ladder to go get the briefcase, gets him set up and protects him as he climbs the ladder. And then a moment we could kind of see coming. Then Jacob Fatu switches up and stops Solo from getting it. He hurts Solo both emotionally and physically. And the look on Paul Heyman's face during this all was just hilarious. You look in the background, you see Paul Heyman's face, you'll get a laugh. He's in absolute shock. He sells it.
As he does, yeah.
So Solo gets taken out. Seth Rollins gets the fireball ladder and gets it set up in the ring, and he climbs up. But LA Knight gets up and gets a BFT in, and then he climbs up as the crowd roars. This should have been the moment. I'm sorry.
Yes, I thought this was it right here. I was like, no, the other spot earlier, that's not what I thought. This was the one that I thought was it.
The crowd pop made me feel like this has to be the moment, but Rollins stops him and he stomps him and he goes back up to retrieve his second ever Money in the Bank briefcase. And I like this a lot, though, man. I'm interested to see where this goes.
If it goes where I said it was going, I'm
less interested. I'm less interested at that point, but I'm sorry to tell you that I just don't believe you. I think him holding it, hopefully in some capacity, gets him to the WWE title.
I don't know. Like, he ends up being the savior of WWE somehow.
Yeah.
Even though he's like such an asshole right now.
And it's a thing of, okay, got my wish. I got what I wanted rather than what I predicted. But looking at, each individual who could have won, I think LA Knight winning it also would have been just as, if not more, interesting. Because, could go anywhere. He could be a world champion in either show. And then I did that same thing with everybody when making my prediction. With Penta, the reason why I didn't predict him, because it's just too soon to see Penta just straight up, all right, world title shot.
Yeah. I mean, I fantasy booked Andrade as a World Heavyweight Championship in one of my universe modes, but I mean, that was never going to happen in real life. So
you bring up another thing. A common theme is Andrade really was just not picked by anybody to win this, and that's what kind of made you think could he? Because nobody would see it coming.
I don't think they would invest that hard, and if so,
I don't think they ever will again.
Time where you can't even do that because Andrade does not like AAA, from what I understand. He's like a big fan of AAA. So because I was gonna say if so, that was my thinking if Americano would have won. Is he going to cash in on – can he cash in on the AAA Mega Champion? I don't know.
I don't know the rules, and at that point, I mean, like I said, TNA titles there. Now we're just splitting hairs. One time it was cashed in for a U.S. title, and we didn't even get it. We were like, what?
It was only a theory.
It was a cluster, and that's – I'm going to stop myself there.
Get the F out.
I think, I had a thought and I lost it. It was specific to Andrade. Okay, yeah. What I was going to say, it's been a long time since we've ran a poll on Spotify with an episode. So this week I'm going to run a poll. Do you think, as fans, Andrade is ever going to get the push he got like he did in NXT again? I say no. I think they're never going to do it.
I think he'll always be a solid worker. I think he'll put on crazy matches with whoever. That set of 7 with Carmelo being a great example. But I don't think he's going to ever get I don't even think he's ever going to get a title again, if I'm being honest. That's not a dig at him, and I don't even think that's a dig at the booking. I think that's a dig at how many people they have in that waiting line.
No, you just made the list.
That's fair. That's fair. That's literally because I think about that waiting line. I'm like, man, there's X amount of people that should be holding this title right here and this title right here. Don't get me started on that because we're trying to transition from the men's Money in the Bank to, oddly enough, the close of the pay-per-view, which wasn't the ladder match. It was main evented by a tag team match that features both world champions in it. And with this tag match being the main event, I felt like something had to happen after it was finished. And it wasn't when it was finished, actually, but during the match, R-Truth returns and attacks Cena, costing him the match. So we got worked, I guess.
I think okay, here's the thing. I don't want to think that they worked us like that because even our truth went out and said, "No, this is my last day" and everything like that. That seems almost insensitive. But at the same time, I wouldn't put it past WWE. But also, there is the small possibility that maybe they did try and get rid of him or let him go. They saw. I mean, when you have people constantly chanting at each of your shows, not even just WWE, but NXT and Worlds Collide, we want truth.
Drink it in, man.
Maybe that's when you realize, oh, maybe there was, or maybe I know, like, the rumor was that Cena was the one that advocated for truth, or for to have that match with truth before everything went down. Maybe Cena finally convinced them. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm 60-40 on this here because I don't necessarily think it was insensitive. Well, I get where you're coming from. I just think we're at a point in wrestling now where we have to blur the lines that hard sometimes. I think it's, man, with the way the Cody Rock thing worked out in WrestleMania 40, I can't say that it's impossible for the fans to sway it that much, but 60% of me thinks they knew what they were doing the entire time and they worked us, and that's me included. I'm not about to sit here and lie to anybody and say that I knew that this was the case scenario and that they would never get rid of our truth. I was trying to get, I already had sent the email. We have it on pre-show tape. I sent the email to get the interview the moment it was announced. So, like, I got worked. I got fooled, bamboozled, hoodwinked. They got me.
Ding dong, hello.
Schmickeldorfed.
Whatever words you can think of, I got.
Yep.
Just add one to the I didn't call it column because I certainly did not see that coming. I did not see the R-Truth coming, and I liked that that's what it was. It wasn't some big, like, The Rock and Travis Scott are coming. Victoria Justice is coming, and her grandma is baking cookies, and oh, here comes Zac Efron now, but he's also one of the Von Erichs, too.
Dude, it was so meta. Like, what are we doing at that point?
I don't even know. Finding Nemo shows up. They found Waldo in the crowd somewhere.
Oh my god. Okay, then.
Okay. Final pay-per-view thoughts. I got two of them because first I got to talk about Worlds Collide. I got to treat it as a separate event. It was. And while it wasn't perfect, I'm not going to say it was perfect. I did like it more than I expected to. And I think that match for match, it was pretty good. The Vikingo match delivered especially. I was going to rate it 3 stars, but I actually think I'm going to give it 3.5 because I liked it more than I thought I was going to.
Thank you.
Now, for Money in the Bank, it was something else. I think I expected more from the ladder matches that I didn't quite get, but on the same foot, the women's Intercontinental title match was really good. I wish the tag match didn't main event, but I get why, of course. I think it was just like an evenly okay Money in the Bank pay-per-view. I would give it a 50, a 2.5 out of 5, even, but Lyra and Becky make it a 3 out of 5 star pay-per-view for me. So thank you, Lyra.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trish. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Thank you, Bex.
Oh man, that reminds me. There is that one. They did make an announcement that Nikki Bella or Nikki Garcia, Nikki Bella.
They said Bella.
Was appearing on Raw, which I'm almost certain she's setting something up for Evolution.
Buckle up, Teddy.
Because they made a big deal about it, but that's beside the point. I just wanted to throw that in there to make sure we remind people.
I think they're setting up for Evolution. Continue.
Pay-per-view thoughts. Worlds Collide, like you said, pleasantly surprised. I love Mr. Iguana. Like, I mean, jokes aside, I mean, that's not even a joke. I really do like the guy. I missed having people that I missed wrestling not being so serious. That's what I like. And
Lindsay Dorado definitely makes it not serious too.
Yeah, Spanish flying Yesca.
I love that guy.
Get this guy out of here. He's too much. But again, it's also a good showcase for Lucha Libre. Cruz del Toro, like, man, maybe a singles push, like, and Berto too. Like, Berto's been showing recently, like, you give the guys some room and they go, man. But I'm just interested to see if there's some build for future AAA events. 3.5. Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm. Money in the Bank.
I go 3. Like you said, it was all right. There weren't quite as many crazy ladder spots. Like, although that one Alexa took on the abdomen on the side of that ladder. Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
I didn't mention it, and I remember telling myself, like, you should mention that spot too. There's going to be a bunch of crazy spots. You don't have to mention every single one.
Like, it's hard to remember all of them. That's the thing. Like, a lot of people talk about, like, when you have so many crazy matches, sometimes when you keep doing spots and spots and spots, that's why some people have such a problem with spot fests. When you have so many spots, it all blends together. But I feel like this could have used with a little bit more, something a little bit more memorable.
Mm-hmm. I agreed with that.
But that Intercontinental Championship match from the women, beautiful, amazing.
Yes. 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 Yes.
And R-Truth's coming back. Special moment. I mean, even if we did get worked, like,
Yeah, we got bamboozled, but I have to be remiss. I have to admit, I'm remiss to say I was looking forward to getting Wrong Killings back in some other places. It was kind of a cool idea. It was one of those things, though, it was like, it just didn't feel believable either. I believed it, but it didn't feel believable. It was like a fever dream.
Well, we'll see maybe in the coming weeks if it's a one-off, if that was like his last appearance, or if we got worked. I think we'll see for sure here in the coming weeks.
Feels like it was so long ago now when he was fired. It's a distant memory. Was he even fired?
Who?
Did he? No. I don't think it ever happened.
No, just business as usual.
All right, this has been interesting. It's been fun, but the big question is, where are we going to go from here?